Mark was on David Senner's podcast, and here's what he said, and I want to read this. Zero as little as possible, move forward, go. Um, that was Mr. Andreessen talking about introspection. Um, and I listened to that and I was just like, there's lots of people who take shots at Andreessen. I think anyone successful gets shots taken at them. Um, But I thought that was probably I was about to say something. I think it was here's what I don't think that Mr. Andreessen is seeing about the value of introspection, because that's what he was talking about. He was like, I don't do introspection. I just want to go, go, go. I just want to execute, execute, execute. Cool. Um, and I think that could have been a perfectly valid way of operating yesterday, as a business operator, small business, large business. Like, just go, because execution was the mission. But as I've talked about, like, ad nauseum, and others have talked about, I'm not like dropping, things that others also don't know. The cost and therefore the value of execution is going to zero. Yesterday's economy, winning in yesterday's economy was about being better at execution than the others. Sure, you'd have to innovate every now and then, but then you could harvest that advantage for a very long time. And I think Mark probably should have said this 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. He probably was, but he hasn't updated his thinking. He's running an old operating system, because I think the operating system that we are moving into as an economy and as organizations is a regenerative one. We're going to have to continuously create new advantage. And then the new advantage is going to get more quickly copied and commoditized, and it'll move over to the execution side of the ledger. And we're going to have to create new advantage on this side of the ledger. And where does new advantage come from? As I've talked about before, new advantage is basically innovation. And innovation now, I don't believe is going to be a department and, the four like super smart nerds over there that every now and then get emailed and someone says, hey, can you give us a little bit of new innovation because the competition is catching up? I think innovation is going to be an organizational capability. Organization as a whole, every function, every team, every role is going to have innovation as part of the way they operate. What is innovation fueled by? Imagination, creativity, curiosity. All those things are innately human qualities. But there are human qualities that you just don't press a button on. I know for myself, my imagination, my creativity, my curiosity that fuels my innovation in whatever form it is in, it comes in. That the flames of creativity, curiosity, imagination, that has been nurtured, curated through introspection, because your creativity, curiosity, imagination is different than mine. They're almost like fingerprints. I often say fingerprints of imagination. And if you're not taking the time to do introspection, to really, as I say, know yourself, be yourself, show up as yourself, your your real fingerprints of imagination, creativity, curiosity are not going to show up. You're going to probably try and borrow it from what's that person over there doing? Like, what's their imagination leading to? Maybe I'll borrow that, but you're just copying. So somebody's already done that. So I think Mr. Andreessen Mr. Andreessen could just, you know, beat my ass at any intellectual exercise, like any LLM could beat me. Whether it's Trivial Pursuit, chess, Go, whatever it might be, Mark would just run circles around me. But on this, I think he's wrong. And I also think this sort of gets to human is going to be the new edge. Human is going to be the new value. And what is more human than engaging, investing in introspection? So you can know yourself, show up as yourself, be yourself. And equally, if not more importantly, you are then through introspection without even realizing it. Trust me on this. You're nurturing, you are growing the flames of your own individual fingerprints of creativity, curiosity, and imagination, which is what is going to be needed to fuel the perpetual innovation that we're going to need as individuals, as teams, as organizations, um, so that we can stay ahead of commoditization catching up to us.